All right, guys, have we got one for you?
So we're going to be walking through this, doing a high-level back-of-envelope FESO.
If you wanted to do total tight ass, you could literally do this for $1,000.
Bathroom, laundry combo. Talk me through it, man. What are you doing?
You'd start from scratch.
So we can go through 20 properties in a week and work out very quickly if it's worth going deeper into and is the renovation worth it.
What do you want to start, man? Bathroom, kitchen?
Let's start in the bedroom. As you can see, it's in pretty poor condition. So we'd have to do some pretty serious patching and painting in here. If you have a look up at the ceilings though, they are absolutely spectacular.
They really are.
So we just repaint that, get rid of that light and put in a fresh new light. Patch all these walls, which looks like someone's had a bit of a punch on with the walls. And I think we keep the carpet, it's in great condition.
I don't think your sarcasm was turned up high enough then, mate.
So we'd re-carpet, obviously, the bedroom. Carpeting price for bedrooms between that $600 and $800 mark. And we'd put in a built-in robe just because there's literally no cupboards in here.
All right, so what are you looking at roughly for the bedroom then, high level?
High level, you're looking at carpet, so we'll call that $800. Patch and paint for the whole house, which we'll have a look through. We're looking between that $10,000 and $13,000 mark. And a cupboard, about $2,000. Lighting, $300-400 per room. Yeah, we'll call that $3,000.
Why don't we walk into the living area in the house here. So crossing over, it looks like this used to be like a lean-to in the back where the kitchen and bathroom are. And then this, I'm assuming, was actually all wall, that someone a very long time ago has opened all of this up. And just like Ollie was saying with the ceilings in the bedroom, even in the living room, the hallway there, they're beautiful old plaster ceilings. All right, so what are you doing in this room?
Obviously, you'd probably replace that feature timber window. As you can see, that's been boarded up. Apparently, the old person who was here, that actually was broken and they were using that to get in and out of the house, climbing in and out of the window.
Well, I think she said it wasn't just the people that lived here, it was random people as well. Like this got full like squatters.
Yeah, it was, we call this one a crackdown.
Before Ollie and I actually came here, we almost bought like Breaking Bad hazmat suits just because of the way it was described. And whilst it's pretty accurate, it's something else.
It's a doozy. So yeah, what we do here, we'd obviously, we're gonna put floating floors throughout the whole house, apart from the bedrooms. Obviously, the bathroom will have tiles. Bedrooms will have carpet. And here, we'd have to put in a split system. We'd remove this fireplace. We'd paint that, make it a nice little feature with a really big split system up the top here. We'd remove this fan because it's taking away from the beautiful feature of the ceiling. Put in a nice pendant light. And yeah, obviously patch and paint, make it look nice and new.
What do you reckon you're spending?
Well, the flooring throughout, not including the bedrooms, you're looking at around that $2,000 to $3,000 mark. Yeah, to paint the whole house. As I said, that's $10,000 to $12,000. Split system, $1,500 to $1,800. So floors, we're looking at about that $3,000 mark. That's not including the bedrooms.
Okay.
Got a split system, we'll call that $1,500. To paint the whole house, we're gonna say $10,000 to $13,000. And blinds throughout, around that $3,000 mark.
What do you reckon for the window?
That'd be a 3-pane window, that'd be around that $1,000 mark.
Windows are surprisingly not as expensive.
Window,
I've replaced tons of them. I always think they're going to cost more than they do.
Well, they keep going from single glaze, double glaze, triple glaze, and the quad glaze. But I'm sure it's coming for energy. Obviously, curtains and blinds are looking around that $3,000 for the whole place. That fireplace, if you get a good painter, they could patch that themselves. Electrical, probably another $2,000.
One thing we can quickly check, because the hybrid flooring is going to be like super wear and tear. And a good cost-effective way to do it, but is always look for little rips in the carpet, because if you've got bits like this, I really don't want to touch this right now. Like I can feel the smell in my fingers. If you could, thank you, Ollie. All right, let's look. If we've actually got nice wooden floors under here, ooh, which we do. Look at that.
Look at that. Give that a polish and a sand. You're looking at, say $4,000 to $5,000 to do the whole house.
And then all of a sudden, all of this is looking like beautiful character flooring, which more than likely you've got a lot of that charm back as well that matches in with your ceilings.
So we cross out the floating floors there, and we cross out the carpet there. So we do polish floorboards throughout. To rip all this out and do the floorboards, we're looking around that $5,000 mark. That is for the whole house.
And so you do bedrooms, you do like living room, hallway, everything.
Kitchen, the whole house, the bathroom, you'd do tiles, but you'd literally rip all the floors out, polish, sand.
Quick tip with this as well. If you ever get into trouble when you're ripping up carpet and polishing up floorboards, if it's too stained and it just won't come out, it's when you can lean into a darker stain sometimes to actually basically like cover up the stains of what's in the floor.
Sometimes the over excessive stains can actually add a bit of character to the floorboards, to be honest. If it's like a massive, murder stain, maybe not. If you've got some nice stains, sometimes it can look like it's part of the timber.
He's got a point. But I think my point is more so if you're trying to do something like really light and you're going for like this like pine kind of finish and it's just not working for you, you would have had something before where someone's like worked on a motorbike engine in the living room and you just got these black soots. Like it's a little hard to work with.
Yeah. You got to get yourself a good floor polisher, sander, and they can sand a lot of it out. But it's just a little bit more work for them.
All right, should we go into the kitchen?
Let's do it.
Now the difference between salvaging this and completely gutting. How are you assessing that, man?
So let's just talk price. If we gutted this whole kitchen and put a new one in, you're looking around that $20,000 to $25,000 mark. But this actually isn't in that bad a condition because this is an add-on to the property. So this is probably late 90s, I'm guessing by the looks of the beautiful colors. And it's actually in pretty good shape. So all the cupboards on the internal, they're not swollen, they're not buckled, all the carcasses are in really good nick. To be honest, the bench tops aren't too bad, but we'd still change those. I reckon we'd use some recon stone. So you're looking around that $1,500 mark to do the stone bench tops.
And why stone? Why not like another laminate? Like what's the purpose behind spending so much on the stone?
Well, to be honest, recon stone and laminate these days, not much different. Probably an extra $500 for stone. If you're just getting a cheap recon stone, it's not really too bad. If you can get one piece and make this whole thing happen, then yeah, definitely do that.
Totally makes sense. All right, so you're going stone bench tops. Now you're keeping the cupboards for this and what, just painting?
Yeah, so you'd go new handles, you'd paint the cupboards. If you've got a really good painter, there's a special paint they use for it. They can make them look brand new with a new stone bench top and a new sink. That'll literally look brand new.
The thing that I love about that as well is if you're super budget, like I was when I was starting, you can DIY that and you can do this whole thing for like $1,000 in some cases.
Yeah.
Maybe not with the stone bench tops, But it's like even if you're getting someone to do it, what are you looking at? Like 4, 5, 6 grand?
If you wanted to do total tight ass, you could literally do this for $1,000. You could literally keep that sink, you could keep that bench top, and you could probably keep that stove. But if you're going to do nice floors, nice paint, do the whole house,
into it.
You'd put a recon stone bench top on there. You'd get a new sink for a couple of $100, a new stove for $1,500. From that $5,000 to $6,000 range, you can literally get yourself a new kitchen. Where if you pulled it out, you're talking 25. So it's definitely worthwhile doing.
And so definitely replacing range hood, tiling. Is this including like splashback, or are you keeping that there? Because if you're ripping the bench tops up, you're running a risk of losing motor.
You're definitely going to lose them, and they're pretty ugly.
They're not great.
For the sake of half a day's work, it's you definitely get rid of it.
Splashback. And also a nice splashback can sometimes be the difference between it's like, did you just wear suits? Job? Yeah, me too. And there's a difference between like having the right tie on sometimes kind of makes a suit pop. It's the same kind of thing with a splashback. You can put all this effort into a kitchen, but if you've got a basic or ugly splashback, it doesn't pull it together.
Yeah, no, you definitely do that. But that's not a big cost.
Yeah, what do you reckon about sort of $600-800?
It's probably say $800 for the splashback.
Is there anything else you're doing in here? Painting for the whole house.
Just paint the whole house, exactly. And a new light, new switches, which is nothing. For say $500.
Awesome. Next room.
Let's roll.
Why don't we tackle the bathroom? That kid looks like he's enjoying himself way too much for being in a shark's mouth.
That's positive.
What is this?
I feel like this guy right now. All right, here we are.
So it's kind of bathroom laundry combo. All right, talk me through it, man. What are you doing?
You'd start from scratch. You'd rip everything out. I don't know if people know, but if you start moving locations of stuff in bathrooms, it gets expensive. So if you can leave everything in the same spot, then you definitely try and do that, unless it doesn't make any sense. But here you don't really have a whole lot of room. So you'd rip everything out and you could realistically reuse the cabinetry, and you'd use the same stone bench tops as you were going to use in the kitchen, and an offcut would probably fit on that. You'd redo the floors, you'd retile everything. You wouldn't tile to the ceiling because that's just going to cost you too much money. New shower base, new toilet, because this one's seen better days. You're going to look at around that 15 grand mark to do a bathroom, but it'll look schmick. The price of a bathroom can vary from that 12 to 35 grand mark, depending on what state you're in. So yeah, it's really obviously really state dependent.
Something else that I actually want to point out as well is the importance of waterproofing being done correctly. Not only because you want it done correctly, but because if it's not, especially being here in Victoria, you need your waterproofing certificates. And because there's other things you need to bear in mind. Like right now, this is a glass shower, like semi-frameless or whatever it is. If this was an open shower curtain, then the whole room would actually need to be waterproofed. because of the splashback on it. So this is when sometimes tiling to the ceiling can make more sense, but realistically, it makes more sense to actually just have a frame on your shower anyway, because it's going to add more value, it's going to look more aesthetically pleasing, and who actually enjoys a shower curtain? It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense in this day and age. No. So this is a smaller bedroom, as we discussed before. We're going to do floorboards all throughout now, polish, sand, and we just need new light, new switch, give it a paint, new blinds.
I've noticed there's ducted here as well. What do you normally do with that? Because I'd be hesitant to rely on it. Do you remove it? Do you leave it? Do you test it? What do you normally do?
Well, you get it tested, and if it doesn't work, then you would rip it out, just rip the vents out and get your painter to patch it. So per bedroom, we're looking at around about because we're taking the floors out. So paint, lights, blinds, looking at about that $500 per room mark.
Your bedrooms really cost next to nothing. All right, and then same with this bedroom.
Yeah, this is a bit of a bigger bedroom. As you can see, they've mislocated the door and have put it in the wrong spot.
I hate it when that happens.
I do that all the time. So this is another 500. Floors we're going to do, we're going to paint, lights, switches, and obviously patch that if it doesn't work. The evaporative cooling, whatever they call it.
There's a Bonaire remote on the wall out there.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's evaporative, but I haven't seen the roof, so I don't know if there is a big unit up there.
You get that checked if it's definitely on the way out.
And then same deal here with all the patching. There's obviously someone's just been chipping away at the walls.
Definitely seen better days. You'd have to ask your painter if not all painters are good at patching. When I say patching, I don't mean little patching. I mean, we've got some serious patches here. So you'd have to either find the right painter who can do both, or you'd have to find a plasterer who can come in and then the painter.
Almost a plasterer and a painter combined. Not quite, but almost. Yeah.
Some painters are brilliant at it, a lot, not so much.
The thing that you guys actually can't see at the moment as well is the slope that's on the floor. So we're going to take a walk outside, talk a little bit more about landscaping, the front, the back of the house, but also if this is actually going to be the thing that kills the deal, how much is actually going to be needed to actually bring this back to level? Because I wish I had an 8-ball with me right now because it would be rolling off to the side.
One thing we can add to this room also is a built-in robe. It's small, so you only need a double.
So you just chuck it over here?
So looking at a 500, and same with the master bedroom. And for that smaller bedroom, I honestly don't think you'd need it.
I feel like you'd actually take away from the usability of that room rather than...
Yeah, it's more like a baby room, so you probably have the baby chest of drawers with the change table on top.
So we're going to take a look out the back at the moment and see realistically what needs to be spent out here to get this up to scratch. What are you doing here, man?
You check this water system. Doesn't look too bad. So if you need to replace that, a couple of grand, but it actually doesn't look too bad. It's not rusty or anything.
Actually, and what about here as well, man? Look at that. That's getting a bit wonky.
I mean, out here, just give it a clean up, wouldn't you? There's not much you can really do.
What do you reckon? You just weed kill, re-stone?
Yeah. Probably put in maybe some planter boxes.
Keep the washing line?
Definitely keep the washing line.
There's nothing much to do, just make it tidy. Because, I mean, you've got an undercover area. If you change the lighting to, or you just put bulbs in it.
The best part of the whole house is this out back.
Yeah.
So you'd probably pump a few grand into this though, just to give it a freshen up. It's literally just like repairing a caravan. You'd have to cut out sections and put new sections in. Some parts of it aren't too bad. It's more that you'd have to get the house underpinned first, which we're going to talk about, and then you'd work out this bit. Because
the back looks all right. As far as level, the back feels all right, but it's the front, that's where things really start to feel a bit wonky.
It's where the drainage, the water's running down and getting under the front of the house by the looks of it.
All right, why don't we go back out the front then and have a look.
That smell just fucking hell.
I'm actually used to it now. I feel like I've already adapted. Good thing is though, this looks like it's been upgraded. A lot of the times you come to these old houses and they're the old switchboard from the 50s. But this is where it's like, let's actually take a step back here. I mean, speaking of steps, this one is literally completely broken through. So, and then when we talk about this, it's actually hard to see on camera the same way as in real life, but all of the floor is slightly sloping inwards in the house. And I think it becomes more apparent when you go over to the side. We can already see a little bit of cracking through here, but then Ollie pointed this out yesterday when we came for a bit of a visit and found this, which really explains a lot of this.
Yeah, so the front of the house looks like it's dropping because all the water's running down, not flowing out from the property. That's why it's so important to have drainage that floods out. So otherwise the water just sits there and it just, obviously dirt, moves with water and the concrete just buckles.
So there's nothing wrong with the tin. It's just moving and the tin's just the first thing that's weak enough to move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The house is going to have to be underpinned. As you can see, there's cracks all through it. If you had a marble in that house, they'd be going every which way. So you'd have to get under the house, and each post would have to be underpinned and then reset. You'd basically have to lift the house so it's straight again. Cost-wise, that could be $50,000.
All right, so that's the big unknown that by the sounds of things is potentially going to make or break this.
Definitely.
You tackled much underpinning before?
I have, and it's expensive. The internal of this house is doable. It's actually a good little property, but that is a real big kind of unknown danger zone, I guess you could say, of how much it's going to cost. Also, the roots from this palm tree, as you can see, it's lifting over there. They would not be helping the whole situation.
So they're probably causing a bit of subsidence.
Yeah, all the water pooling and the roots.
Standing here like this, feeling somewhat scripted, feels like the worst outro of Selling Homes Australia I've ever watched. But why don't we crunch the numbers, man? Let's see how much this thing is going to cost, and let's see if it actually stacks up as a renovator.
Let's do it.
Ready to crunch some numbers, man?
Mate, I was born ready.
Got the smell out of your nostrils?
Still smell it.
And, okay, so we got a lot of numbers on the floor plan. Now, actually walking through this, because the whole point of this episode is talking about doing a fast FESO. This isn't about doing like super detailed numbers. This is about knowing if the detail is actually worth allocating the time to. All right, so why don't we start off with a realistic end val if we're going to do this. What do you think once it's actually renovated, this is going to be sitting at?
The end valuation in this market, they're around that $470,000 mark.
Okay. And so that's not high spec. That's just nicely presented, nice, neat reno that we've been talking about, yeah?
Yeah, a renovator, similar.
As far as costs are concerned, what did everything add up to?
It was $48,900.
Okay, so basically 50 grand?
Yep, $50,000 for the renovation. Internal, not including the underpinning issue. That could be a massive can of worms. It could be from 5,000, which looking at that house definitely ain't 5,000.
Yeah, I think it's probably more than
50, 100, knock the house over, who knows? Let's just call it 50 grand.
And this is the important thing. It's the who knows. Until you actually get a professional out there buying something like that without that proper inspection. And I don't mean a building inspection, because a building inspector is just going to say, get someone out there that specializes in something. Yeah, exactly. So you actually want to get someone to actually quote that up.
It's so noticeable. There's serious issues.
Yeah.
It's not just like a few, I mean, there's always cracks in concrete and brickworks. Usually it's a non-issue. This was literally the front of the house looked like it was falling off.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. So, you know, that could be 100 grand right there. A property like this, to make this worthwhile for that $50,000 to $100,000.
So you're kind of meeting in the middle, going for like a 70K uplift?
Yeah, so let's say we've got to get this property at that 350 grand mark.
Okay, so 350,000, and if you could do the reno for around 50 grand, then you're making about that sort of 70K.
Exactly.
Got it. However, if the underpinning needs done or needs doing, good English, if you need to underpin and it does cost 50K, your profit's pretty much gone.
So you're looking at trying to get this for $300,000 to make that worthwhile. Good luck with that happening in 2025.
I was just going to say how realistic is that, but I didn't even need to ask the question. Like,
Yes,
that's not happening.
That's not happening. So this property is not worth pursuing unless you can get it for that price, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. If you're wanting to save days and days of your life, learning how to do these quick feasibilities is super important. I could have spent 3 hours going through every single number of this renovation and literally got to the end of it and then realized that it's a blowout of $100,000 because of underpinning. So we've done some quick numbers, renovation numbers, underpinning numbers. Is it worth it? Super quick numbers. No. Next. So we can go through 20 properties in a week and work out very quickly if it's worth going deeper into the actual quotes and is the renovation worth it.
And the other thing as well is it just kind of sucks your energy. Especially if you've even got the tiniest little amount of analysis paralysis, and if you then start over-analyzing every property, you're going to think renovating is just, well, it's just a mugs game. And it's not that it's a mugs game, it's that you've spent the time on the wrong thing.
Yeah, 100%. And you just want to get high-level numbers quickly, work it out, move on, then dive deeper.
The other thing that I just want to really quickly point out with this as well, that Oliver's really illustrated perfectly, this is scribbles on an iPad. Like, you don't need expensive software. You don't, like, you can literally just write all of this down. It's why they're called bow numbers, back of envelope numbers, because you can literally do it on the back of an envelope. Not that anyone really posts things anymore as envelopes, but you know what I mean? Like, it's the scribbles that if you do them correctly, you do them often enough, you do them super quickly, and you'll be so much more efficient at this. All right, man, this has been a fun episode to make. I actually enjoy it when we get out of the studio as well, get a little bit on the ground. I think my nostrils need some repairing. But, man, is there any other final words of wisdom or anything you want to leave everyone with today, Ollie?
Yeah, so learning these numbers, high level real quickly, will save you a lot of time and you won't piss off trades. So if you go and got a bunch of trades in to do quotes on this property for you, they all go in there, waste their time, do your quotes, and then you're like $100,000 out because of this underpinning.
So true.
They're not going to do that many more times than once.
Yeah, and you've potentially just gone to all this effort setting up this amazing trade team that you've then just gone and got offside from wasting their time.
Exactly. You've got to call, you've got to get people to go through there. You've got to talk to the property manager. You've got to talk to the seller. You're going to waste everyone's time when you could have just done this in 5 minutes and realized it's a waste of time.
Such a good one, man. Oliver Jackson from Living Property, thank you so much again for jumping on the show, man. This has been a fun one to make.
Thank you. I need to go have a shower now because I stink.